it's Tony with lidl.doodle. It is a hot day today in the Pacific Northwest. We are getting up to like 95, and as we are getting closer to the official start of summer, I got to thinking about summer inks, and I decided I would do a summer inks video, but not summer in the traditional like dream summer colors. I'm gonna do Pacific Northwest summer. But first, I wanted to share a couple of things. So, big news, so excited. We are going to be vendors at the Pacific Northwest Pen Show. You guys, this is huge. I'm so excited. I know if you're new here, maybe you haven't heard me talk about my husband's leather business. He started an Etsy store for his leather journal covers and leather products back in March, and we've just been kind of having fun with it, and he was like, you know what, why not? So he pulled the trigger, and we have a table, so we're busy getting everything ready. I'll put the link down in the description for his Etsy shop if you just want to take a look even at what he does. But if you come to the Pen Show in July, come find us. We are Blackwater Craft Works, and yeah, I'm super excited. So that might get me in a little trouble being at a pen show for 3 days in a row. But anyway, it's super exciting. The other thing I just wanted to share really quick, we ran over to Oblation yesterday, which is over in Portland. It's our favorite local stationery store. And we went over there to get some field notes and just pick up a couple of random things. And I ended up getting the new matcha Twisby. And I was going to pass on this, which, look at it, it's green. Like, why would I pass on this, right? I don't pass on green pens. But I feel like I have a lot of Twisbys, and I typically, new color comes out, I'm like, yes, I'm all over it. But I've been trying to maybe pass on a few colors. So I was going to pass on this one until I got over there and I saw it in person. And I was like, yeah, I need to have this. So I'm not going to do a whole video on it, but I just wanted to share the beauty that is this Twisby. All right, so for my Pacific Northwest summer, I divided it into 4 categories, and there are quite a few inks. We'll see if I get through all of them. I might break it into 2, but I also don't think that we need to have 2 videos on Pacific Northwest summer inks. So we'll see how we do. Yeah, and we'll just get to swatching. All right, my first category for my Pacific Northwest summer inks is associated with hiking and trees and trails, because typically I love to do a lot of hiking in the summer, and it's a great way, like on a day like today, to get out of the heat. We don't, at least I don't, go to the beach to get away from the heat. I go to the woods. And so my first color choice is Diamine Pine Needle, which is fitting, I guess, for our lush green trees up here. I did not map this out on my page. I'm just going with it. We'll just freestyle it today. Okay. The next hiking color I have is Colorverse Walk the Dog. It's also a green, but a little more muted, depending on where we do our hiking. Normally we go up to like through the gorge or Pacific Crest Trail. We've got a few places out towards Mount St. Helens that we like to go, but it's not always super green. Sometimes we get a nice, let's see, should I go? I think I'll go down. How's that? I love this color. And in fact, that just reminded me, this is the color that I put in my matcha. That's right. I'll even show you how it writes. Oh, and I don't know myself anymore. Guess what? I bought this in a fine nib. Who am I? I don't know why. I just was like, I have so many medium nibbed TWSBIs. My stubs have been irritating me. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go with a fine. And it writes really well. Got a great match. I love that match. Okay. The next hiking color I have is Diamine Pick Me Up. And this is a rich, dark brown that makes me think of the trails when they've got like a nice layer on top. And this actually has like a green sheen to it. So it's extra kind of woodsy and fun. I don't know, maybe this was a silly idea for a video, but I was thinking like with my spring inks and my winter inks and my fall inks, it's always just kind of a generic, like the colors that I would assume most people, at least on this side of the world, associate with those times. And I just thought, you know what, summer inks, summer is just looks a little different here than, you know, if we were down in Southern Cali or, oh my gosh, somewhere warm and tropical. Now, this is not to say that I don't love warm and tropical, but it definitely is not representative of where I spend most of my summers. We are not going anywhere tropical anytime soon. We just have too many other things going on. So we'll just stick around here. And the last color for hiking is Sailor Manyo Shirakashi. And this is kind of like it's a brownish gray, kind of makes me think of like mushrooms and like a dark moss kind of. Oh, I'm running out of room here. It goes down, it looks awfully dark. I do have this in a pen that I use regularly, and coming out of the pen, it's pretty brown. Here it looks a little more kind of greenish gray. But for not having any shimmer, I love this ink. Might have some shading. These Manyo inks tend to have some fun shading once they dry, and I do really like this. So here is what it looks like to go on a hike in the summer in the Pacific Northwest. So the next set of colors I picked were for wildflowers, because oftentimes when we go hiking out in the meadows and areas, it's like you walk through the trail and the trees and the forest, and then you come out into this field and there are all these beautiful wildflowers. So the first color I picked was Jingleberry. And I picked 4 colors because I looked up what are the most typical wildflowers in my area. I wrote all the names of the flowers down, and I have no idea where I wrote them. So you'll just have to go with it that we have flowers these colors in the summer. So Diamine Jingleberry, this is like a real pretty magenta, pretty vibrant. Oh, I probably should have gone right to left. Oh well, hopefully I don't smudge. The next color I picked for wildflowers is Warringal Floating Cloud. It's another pink. But a little more red, I think, than purple. Like the Jingleberry has more purple tones. This is a little more red. It's a pretty light ink, so I don't know that I would put this in any pens, maybe a broad or a stub if I really wanted to, but I think I would prefer to just use this ink for swatching or for artwork but it's definitely, I think, pretty and representative of wildflowers in our area. All right, the next wildflower color I picked is Sailor Shikiori Irori, and another kind of red-ish but more orange tones, if not just a, oh, it's almost kind of a coral. That's really pretty. I can even visualize the specific wildflower that I'm thinking of with this color, but I don't remember the name. And then lastly, for our wildflowers, I picked Diamine Jacaranda, and this one is just such a pretty, vibrant purple. This is a standard ink too, so there's no shimmer. I guess so far we don't have much in the way of shimmer. Pine Tree has shimmer. I think that's it so far. All right, so there are our 4 inks for wildflowers. The next category I picked for Pacific Northwest summers, it would not be a summer in Washington State if we did not have rainy days. So I picked 4 colors that I felt like looked like a Washington State rainy day. The first one is a Monyo ink, Hinoki. I love this color. It's bluish gray and it has a pretty shading finish. The next rainy day ink is going to be Periwinkle Twinkle from Dominant Industry. And this one is a little, like, I was kind of torn on this one because it's kind of purpley blue, and it doesn't, like, it kind of makes me think of a rainy day when maybe the clouds are super funky, or the way that the light is hitting the trees and creating kind of a fun blue periwinkle sky. All right, our next rainy day ink is going to be Robert Oster, Tinseltown. I'm pretty sure that's the name. I had such a hard time with this one because the font is like so light and my eyesight is kind of trash. So I think I called it like 6 different things before I just settled on Tinseltown. It is definitely shimmery. It goes down, if I remember correctly, this is the one I'm thinking of. It goes down a lot differently than it looks once it dries. But this is just kind of a good, I think, bluish, grayish, purplish, a little bit of everything for a rainy day. Looks like I have a drop of jacaranda there, so I'll just, don't mind that. And then lastly, I could not have done a rainy day ink palette without Waringal Half Moon with Dimmed Light. This is not a regular ink that I use. I do have it in my white TWSBI Eco. It's pretty light, but it's just really unique. And I felt like this is definitely a rainy day ink. When it dries, it's going to have some pretty blue silver shimmer in it. And let's see, I will do the writing sample with my TWSBI here. You can see, I think all that shimmer gets up in there. Well, this was feeling like being a wet writer today. Wow. Pretty sure this is a medium. That was just spitting right out. Okay, there's our rainy day. And then our last category, we have got beautiful sunrises and sunsets. So first is candlelight, capturing that yellow, vibrant sun as it's rising or going down. Oh, and I have a new yellow. It's going to be in a different video, but I have a new yellow to share that, oh, I am loving it. I already have it in a pen. And I just got the sample yesterday and I was like, I got to buy a bottle of this. Our next sunrise sunset ink is going to be Diamine Bucks Fizz. I love this color. I use this a lot in art. I don't have it in any pens, but it's a really unique orange with a lot of shimmer. It's kind of a peachy orange. All right, and lastly for our sunrise sunset, I only picked 3 inks for this, is Diamine Lullaby, which is a really pretty kind of lavender purple. And I just love these 3 together. It just felt like it just looked like a sunset to me. Okay, there we have it. I'm gonna hold this up really quick. Even though these are still wet, I wanna get this Half Moon Dimmed Light up close so you can see that beautiful blue and silver shimmer in there. Okay, so our summer inks for the Pacific Northwest, we've got hiking colors, we have wildflower, we have a rainy day, and then we have sunrise sunset. Okay, how'd we do? I had fun picking out the inks and thinking about colors that remind me of the Pacific Northwest in the summertime. So thanks for watching, sticking around, and I will see you in the next video.